With my recent challenges, I have learned early and firsthand the full power of this community, and I am here to say how lucky we all are to have had this transformational experience at Gonzaga Prep.
I talked about prep going co-ed before me, but what an impact that did have on my life and my daughter Ella. Women deserve the right to a great Jesuit education.
Did I think I would have an opportunity to give a speech at my high school graduation? Well, maybe I dreamed about it, but in my dream, I definitely had hair.
I'm a strong believer in prep's mission and its results.
Gonzaga Prep has prepared us, spiritually and academically, to face this uncertain future. We have learned from our teachers and faculty to push through the hard to get to the good.
Jesuit education teaches you to engage others. Teaches you not only think about your needs, your wants, but where different people coming from. Seeing God in all people and all things. Learning not everyone comes from the same background, but that they're interesting people. You know, you don't realize it's having the impact on you that it is. But as you grow into your adulthood, it does. It's transformed you.
It is inevitable in life that we will face loss and hardship. And I stand before you today as living proof that life can hand you some major adversity that you never could have predicted.
Ella was diagnosed in March of 2017 of her graduation year, just before her 18th birthday. She passed away in February 2020. Her funeral service, we had all gathered at the kennel, which was perfect setting for Ella's celebration of life. She was a huge Gonzaga fan. We've been taking her to GU basketball games since she was young, and she wasn't one of those that was out there socializing. She watched the basketball. In fact, some of her friends got a little upset because you're like, you're boring to go with. All you want to do is watch the game, which she did. Ella was fiercely independent, always has been since she was a little girl. By the time she was at prep, she was making her own decisions, signing up for her own classes. They're always, top, hardest classes she could take. But I think she really enjoyed the freedom of coming prep and being able to, form her own friendships, make her own way. She loved debating. She had Segadelli and Doherty. I know they did a lot of debating in their class, and she loved that. She loved to debate with her brothers. Our family likes to debate. And, we miss Ella in our lives. She knew how to kind of put us, maybe not in our place, but look at things differently. Ella was always the one in the family who would often push back or debate a little bit, always in a loving way, but would come back and say, well, what about this? How about that? What if they see it this way? I miss that. I miss that presence in our life. When it came my time to come to prep, my dad was a strong believer in Catholic education. But they just didn't feel they had the funds to send 8 kids to parochial school. And so they made the very conscious decision that for young kids, probably the most formative years are your high school years. And so they kind of banked on sending their kids to prep.
This school has helped us grow as students, as leaders, and as people. It has prepared us all for whatever comes our way. For me, it has created a backbone that I can rely on to push through my own struggles.
I wish I had Ella's presence in my life coming through prep here and learn how to be like, hey, just do your own thing. Because I really struggled my freshman year. I was an awkward kid. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I spent the first, half of the year eating outside by myself. I was scared to go into the lunchroom and sit at a table by myself. It was easier to just remove myself from that. But that changed rather quickly, I guess. I was surrounded by exceptional students. They were leaders. And I think when you're just surrounded by that, you learn to step up. So it got better. Started playing basketball and soccer. And back then, they started girls soccer, and I am told that, prep was like, we need a coach who can do this. And they asked Denise Schlepp to do it, and she was a phenomenal coach. Before she would even show up on the field, we were expected to run a mile, and we went to state 2 years in a row. Coach knew how to push us.
We have learned from Steve Gleason that awesome ain't easy, and from our retreat experiences that the best is yet to come.
The best thing that happened to me at prep, I would say, is I met my husband early in my junior year. And I remember very distinctly, after Lung's class one day, he met me in the hall and asked me to go to homecoming. And never looked back. Our dates were going to the German club with his parents. It was hands down my favorite date in high school. We'd go to the German club, have dinner with all the old people, and then Tom taught me how to polka and waltz. And I got to polka and waltz the night away with my high school boyfriend. Best date ever. By the time I left prep, everyone was all excited about college and yeah, I'm gonna go off and broaden my horizons. And I'm looking around going, what are you guys talking about? This is great. I wanna just freeze time. I wanna freeze time and just stay here. I'm so happy. This is wonderful.
We have learned faith and resilience from Joe Byrd. We have learned humor from Mr. Cooter and joy from Senora Trainer.
Our kids, you know, a lot of them formed great relationships with their teachers. I remember there was a time Ella was talking about Coach McKeirnan. She's like, I just love that man. And I'm like, what do you love about Coach McKeirnan? And she's like, Coach McKeirnan's always looking out for others. I'll be in my, math class and he'll poke his head in. He said, kids, I just met with a kid who's struggling at school. You guys be good together, take care of one another. And Ella just admired that so much. That he was instilling these values in them, teaching others how to be good to one another.
We have learned here that when times are hard, we do not give up, we persist. Most importantly, we've learned here that we are not alone.
Hi there, Ella. I've heard a lot about you from our Gonzaga Prep family. I know you're about to begin a unique and difficult journey, in which you'll need some extra strength to overcome this, so I wanted to send you all my love.
There is no debate that our class is great at winning. But how are we at losing?
Failure and losing and struggles, those are the things that you actually have to fight through, and those are the things that make you into a better person and change you, and those are the things that take effort.
In my own uncertain future, I know that I am prepared to face whatever challenges await me, in large part because of what I have learned here at Gonzaga Prep, and because of my membership in this community, and the relationships I have built with my classmates.
There's a strong tradition at Prep of volunteering, and that tradition of giving back to Prep and being involved has been there, way before Tom and I got involved here. One of my fondest memories is providing team meals. Again, nothing I started, but one lunch, someone came up with this idea, let's cook the spaghetti and the sauce. Well, long story short, it was terrible. The spaghetti was, seriously, it was inedible, but we're like, oh my gosh, we're serving 80 coaches and players, and we're like, we just got to serve it. Had no choice. So we served that spaghetti. No one said a word. So my boys get home, I'm like, how was that spaghetti? Mom, I'm sorry, but it was awful. So the next lunch, we started off lunch, and I was like, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. I am so sorry for the last lunch. And I start talking, and I can't even finish my sentence. The whole room of 80 coaches and players stand up and just start applauding. They won't even let me finish. They were like, nope, thank you, we appreciate you. And I was like, wow, got some good kids in this group. When Ella was sick, all of her treatments were in the hospital. And I had the privilege to be with her 24/7 in the hospital. And she would go in for weeks and days at a time, repeatedly. I was taken out of our home. And the prep community and the Cataldo community picked up so many pieces.
I know the relationships and community we built here will last across time and distance. I have recently seen it up close with my parents, who are both class of 1987 alums. They are often sustained through this difficult time for our family by the love and support of generations of prep community members.
Just after Ella passed, our family ended up here on the campus. The day she passed, the word kind of got out to prep, and Father J.K. was like, we need to do something. And that's when he grabbed the sidewalk chalk and they started painting the sidewalk out here on the campus. The next day after she passed, our family decided to come up here and look at the sidewalk chalk, and Kevin and Daniel were still in school here. So that meant a lot to us. Marian Mass came around, Kevin's graduating year, and they always have a speaker at Marian Mass. I remember him asking me, I'm talking to Kevin, and Kevin's like, you should do it, Mom. And I was like, I don't like public speaking. I'm doing this, but I don't like public speaking. We go to Marian Mass, and Kevin and I are driving away together, and he's like, Mom, I really wish we had spoken at Marian Mass. He's like, I would have spoken for you. You didn't have to speak, I would have spoken for you. And I'm like, really? What would you have shared? He's like, I would have shared how there was a time when I lost my mom. She was taking care of Ella. And I really got removed from our family household. He's like, but I would have shared how the prep community took care of me and how they just picked me up, and a lot of those parents became my second mom during that time. He wanted to say thank you to the prep community. Thanks to his people. If anything, Ella's story, her sickness, and even for Ella, has taught her to live more fully, right? When she got sick, it wasn't like, woe me. She picked herself up and she tried to live her life more fully.
Just like being able to go to school and be with your friends is such a blessing. Or even just being able to sit at home and not be feeling bad is super nice. So I think it just kind of makes you appreciate everything a little more.
We don't never know when it's going to be our time. I just want to keep embracing life and relationships.
We have all been inspired to positive action by our experiences at Gonzaga Prep. These special people graduating with me will do amazing and unexpected things. They will act in ways that will improve and transform their communities. They will go forth and set the world on fire. I personally can't wait to see it. Thank you.